What is going on, everybody? My name is Scotty. We are on a solo mission tonight. Our good friend Corey is off doing work things, but we're holding it down. We're going to run through these week 2 games very quickly, and it's going to be a good show, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. I know Corey appreciates you guys. So let's jump right into it. We're just going to go straight down the slate of games for week 2. It was a crazy week of games it was. Right now we are going to start with the Los Angeles Rams visiting Nashville, Tennessee to take on the Tennessee Titans. Matthew Stafford balled out. It did not. They were down in this game. The Rams were down in this game as late as 3.5 minutes in the third. So, big time comeback. They scored 20 consecutive points to score. They scored 20 consecutive points to spoil Cam Ward's home opener in the NFL. It was quite a showing. 23 points in the second half after going into halftime down 13 to 10. So, big time showing up in the second half where Matthew Stafford and company. I kind of saw this game being a little bit closer than what it was. Rams dominated pretty well everywhere. Third down, it was pretty even on both sides, and time of possession was also pretty even. But the Rams, they stayed hard at it and just continued to do their thing, you guys. I think both me and Benty had the Rams in this game. That's a very motivated team, and they are playing really, really good football. And it looks like Matthew Stafford's back is just fine. He looks like he's out there playing some of the best ball of his life. Having Devontae Adams helps a ton, and having that defense led on this day by Cam Kitchens in the tackles department. So it's a very stout showing, and scoring 20 straight points to take the lead, keep the lead into the fourth quarter. Good game by the Rams. Moving straight along here, the Cincinnati Bengals sans Joe Burrow in the second half. They were stellar at home and beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. It did not look like that was going to be the case at all for the whole time. It looked like it very well could have been Jacksonville's game. Trevor Lawrence played pretty well. It was not a good quarterback showing for either side with Joe Burrow down. It was actually kind of pedestrian. Lots of yards. Plenty of pass yards in this game, but 5 combined interceptions between Jake Browning and Trevor Lawrence. So not the biggest of showings here. Jacksonville actually did pretty well on offense. Won on third down. Won the time of possession, won the total yards battle, but just could not win the game. And that's where it matters the absolute most. You can win everything, but it does not count unless you win the game. Cincinnati just capitalizing enough on those mistakes, keeping themselves alive and atop the AFC North. A gritty game. It's going to be very interesting to see how Jake Browning plays in place of Joe Burrow over these next few weeks. It's going to definitely be a different team once Joe Burrow gets back, for sure. But gritty win, and I think Corey and I both had Cincinnati in this game, so that was a good call. Rolling right along, the next game, the Cleveland Browns visiting the very motivated, very angry, very happy after this game, Baltimore Ravens, getting absolutely walloped in the fourth quarter of this contest to make it a 41-17 win in favor of the home Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson doing Lamar Jackson things. 4 touchdowns through the air. Absolutely stellar. Roquan Smith with 15 tackles, 8 of those being solo. Dude is just playing lights out at the moment. Not all bad things from the Cleveland Browns sideline. Joe Flacco, Mr. Consistent, he did miss 20 passes. But a few of those were drops. And the Browns actually pretty handily controlled this game if you look at team stats. Outgained Baltimore 2 turnovers to none, which is never where you want to be. It's never where you want to be. They did get more first downs, better on third down, and 2 for 2 in the red zone. So if they could get there, they scored, which is really, really nice. And they won the time of possession battle, but they just could not. And neither of us saw this happening. Neither of us saw them winning the game. And it turned out kind of how we expected. Good showing by Baltimore. I think this is the team that everybody expected. Put up 40 points in week 1. Right now, this offense is looking dynamic. It's unreal. So, good showing by the Ravens, and we expect more out of the Browns. We will see where this season takes the Browns with the quarterback controversy and things like that they have going on. Rolling right along, the Buffalo Bills traveling to New Jersey to take on the New York Jets in the Meadowlands, and doing what everybody thought. Was going to happen. They went in, they dominated the game. I expected it to be a little bit closer at least. I think I had this scored at 31-17, but I did expect a win out of the Buffalo Bills here, and they played really, really good. Tyrod Taylor, not a lot to speak of with Justin Fields going down in this game. Justin Fields did lead the Jets in rushing, oddly enough. James Cook doing James Cook things, 132 yards on 21 carries and 2 touchdowns, which alone was enough to beat the New York Jets after the Buffalo Bills defense decided to show up in week 2 because they did not show up in week 1. It was really good to see that. The Bills defense did play well, and they not so narrowly escaped the Meadowlands with a dominating victory to the tune of 30-10. Rolling right along to a game that we did expect to be close, but not this high scoring. And it was really good to see Tua play good football. 33-27 for the visiting New England Patriots. Also, 3 touchdowns accounted for by Drake May. 2 through the air, 1 on the ground. Very nice to see. Also, a kick return touchdown by former Washington Commander Antonio Gibson, which we love to see. We love to see the former guys doing good things. Not really all that different of a game, honestly. They very evenly matched all down the stat sheet. But the Patriots managed to escape this one on the power of that kick return touchdown. So, good job to them. And the Dolphins, I think the overreaction to Tua in week 1 was just that. I think they're going to be just fine. He's going to settle into his game, and he will get better as well as everybody else going through the season. Parlaying right into our next game, the San Francisco 49ers traveling to New Orleans to take on the Saints. They beat the Saints 26-21 in this game behind 3 Mac Jones touchdown passes. The same Mac Jones who played in New England. That Mac Jones went to New Orleans in the Superdome and put on a clinic. 26 of 39, 279 yards, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers. Big time stuff. Also, on the other side of the ball, Spencer Rattler playing beautiful football. 25 of 34 for 207 yards and 3 touchdowns of his own. We love to see the young guys coming through. Very evenly matched on the stat sheet. The big difference that I see here is third downs. San Francisco was lights out on third downs, over 50%. Meanwhile, New Orleans only 4 of 11. But otherwise, a very balanced game with the San Francisco 49ers leaving New Orleans with the victory there. Now, this next game was very fun. It was very fun to experience. A lot like the Week 1 Buffalo Bills and Baltimore Ravens game, a severe lack of D. If you were to start the alphabet, it would be A, B, C, E in this game because there was no D to be found. Russell Wilson had 450 pass yards and 3 touchdowns. And Dak Prescott on the other side, 361 pass yards and 2 touchdowns. Absolutely insane stats. Cam Scatterboom for the New York Giants actually carried the ball 11 times. You love to see it. Cam Scatterboom, an absolutely dominating force. He blocks well. He runs well. Almost impossible to bring down. Like, he is nice. And Malik Neighbors just doing Malik Neighbors things. 167 yards on 9 receptions. 2 times did he find pay dirt for the New York Giants, where they are narrowly defeated in overtime on a Brandon Aubrey kick for the Dallas Cowboys, 40-37. Incredible game. Absolutely incredible game. We're moving on from one divisional game that was incredible to another that was an absolute shellacking. The Detroit Lions hosting the Chicago Bears, and it was not close. The Detroit Lions scored at least 10 points in every quarter. As a matter of fact, the only quarter they did not score at least 14 in was the third. And they walk the Chicago Bears back across the lake with a loss to the tune of 52-21. Jared Goff playing absolutely stellar. 23 of 28, 5 touchdown passes, 334 yards. The Chicago Bears did not register a sack in this game at all. Jaquan Brisker, the safety, led the Chicago Bears in tackles with 9. Now, that is not to say that Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze did not ball, because they did. They did. 2 touchdown connections between them. As a matter of fact, those were Caleb's only 2 touchdowns. 207 yards for him, 128 of those going to Rome Odunze. Now, Amon-Ra St. Brown on the other side, 9 receptions, 115 yards of his own, and 3 scores. It was just absolutely not fair. Jahmyr Gibbs doing his thing. The Detroit Lions absolutely dominated this ball game. 511 total yards, no turnovers. They had 6 more first downs. Very, very few penalties. The time of possession battle was actually not that bad, but the Detroit Lions scored 6 out of 7 times that they found the red zone, and it was just unfair from start to finish. This was a motivated Detroit Lions team after getting embarrassed by the Green Bay Packers. All of the questions that came out of that game, Jared Goff is like, well, we're going to show you. And they did, to the tune of 52-21 over the Chicago Bears. Moving right along to a game that I think Corey and I both got wrong. The Seattle Seahawks come to Heinz Field and beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in a Super Bowl 40 rematch. And the Seahawks looked really, really good. Sam Darnold played well. He had a couple of mistakes, but that is all right. 2 touchdowns on 22 passes, or on 22 completions for 295 yards. And Kenneth Walker showed up big, 105 yards on 13 carries, averaging 8.7 yards a carry and a touchdown. It was a very fun game to keep your eye on. I enjoyed it a ton to watch. The Seahawks came in and dominated this football game. Out-yarding the Steelers by 118 yards, 8 first downs. It was the red zone that I feel like was the big key here. Scoring 2 out of 3 trips to the red zone versus also only limiting the Steelers to 2 trips to the red area. And Seattle handily walks out of Pittsburgh with a 31-17 win there. This is a game I feel like a lot of people had eyes on, and that is Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos going to Indianapolis to take on Daniel Jones and the Colts, and it was a showdown. It was a showdown from start to finish. It was an amazingly played game. Bo Nix doing his thing, 22 of 30, 3 touchdowns, 206 yards, but he did have a costly turnover. Now, Daniel Jones, 23 of 34, 316 yards and a touchdown, but no turnovers. Jonathan Taylor, just absolutely a workhorse on the ground for the Indianapolis Colts. 25 carries, 165 yards. He was doing the work. If you look at the score, it is very much indicative of the stat sheet, save for yards. The Indianapolis Colts did outgain the Denver Broncos 473 to 324. Everything else was very close. First downs, there were 19 penalty flags thrown and accepted in this game for a total of 149 yards. That is a ton of penalty yardage. Very undisciplined game from both sides. And at home, the Indianapolis Colts sneak away with what was a crazy final 15 seconds. They slip away from the Denver Broncos 29-28 to remain undefeated and move into week 3 with more momentum. This Daniel Jones is not the Daniel Jones that we saw in New York. He is playing disciplined, good football, making good decisions. Pairing him with head coach Shane Steichen was a fantastic idea. I like what this team is doing, and I love seeing how well they're playing. And the same goes for the Broncos. Having head coach Sean Payton, a Super Bowl winner in New Orleans in 2009, so knows how to get it done. Is doing wonders with Bo Nix and that offense. They are playing good football. They're coming together. They looked better this week than they did last week, and it's only trending upward. I can't wait to see how this goes. Moving on to the Arizona Cardinals hosting the Carolina Panthers, where they walked away with a 27-22 victory over those visiting Panthers. Bryce Young threw the football 55 times in this football game. It seemed that they could not get the run going. Chuba Hubbard, 10 carries for only 38 yards. On the other side for the Arizona Cardinals, James Conner also could not get going. He did find the end zone, but 11 carries, 34 yards. This had to be a passing game, and it was very effective. I'm excited to see it for both sides, for their young quarterbacks to be performing. Now Bryce Young in his third year, he did throw for 55 times, but he did have 3 touchdowns and 328 yards. A costly interception for both sides, but not the worst game. And if you look at the stat sheet, the Carolina Panthers dominated this game. And again, the home team able to squeak away the Arizona Cardinals, winning this one 27-22. Moving on to what I feel was probably the most watched game of the weekend. The Philadelphia Eagles coming from Philadelphia to Arrowhead in Kansas City, Missouri, and beating the Kansas City Chiefs 20-17 in a low-scoring affair. A very low-scoring affair. Neither quarterback played up to the standard that was probably expected of them. Jalen Hurts, 15 of 22, no touchdowns and 101 yards, averaging just south of 8 yards a completion. Patrick Mahomes, on the other hand, 16 of 29, a touchdown and an interception, 187 yards. Saquon Barkley, doing Saquon Barkley things, 22 carries, a touchdown, 88 yards. You expect those things now. Now, on the stat sheet, very similar all the way down, except for yards for the Kansas City Chiefs, 294 to the Eagles 216, and time of possession, the Eagles had the ball for 32.5 minutes versus Kansas City's 27.5. Close game all throughout. The Eagles just managed to scrape away in this one on the strength of a fourth quarter touchdown, 20-17. To keep the Chiefs at 0-2 to start the season. We are moving right along to Minnesota, where the visiting Atlanta Falcons came to town and absolutely dominated this football game. 22-6 was the final score, with Atlanta prevailing. Under 200 total offensive yards for the Minnesota Vikings in this game. 4 turnovers. They did not play like the same Vikings team that had that incredible comeback against the Bears in Week 1. Where do they go from here? I think head coach Kevin O'Connell's got some decisions to make and things like that. But I think they'll bounce back. I do feel very strongly about their bounce back. They're going to do well. I have all the faith in the world in this young team and in young J.J. McCarthy. We've seen some similarities to some quarterbacks of the past up there in Minnesota. They usually always turn it around. He'll be just fine. He will be just fine. And meanwhile, the Falcons, they look like they are onto something good here. Michael Penix, no turnovers. Again, no touchdowns. But no turnovers, and that's the big thing. Bijan Robinson continuing to be a top 3 back in the NFL. 22 carries, 143 yards. You love to see those kind of things. But the Atlanta Falcons go to Minnesota and dominate the Vikings to the tune of 22-6. And the first leg of our Monday night doubleheader had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers eke out a win over the Houston Texans 20-19 in Houston. Baker Mayfield playing like Baker Mayfield does, 25 of 38, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 215 yards. CJ Stroud also playing up to his hype from year 1 and across year 2. He had 13 of 24, 207 yards, and a touchdown. To pair that with Nick Chubb's rushing touchdown as well, which is really, really nice. You love to see Nick Chubb making a comeback. You love to see those guys starting to gel on offense. Bucky Irving for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers played phenomenally. 17 carries, 71 yards, and a game-changing run in the fourth quarter that allowed them to get away and maintain possession of the football. The stat sheet says that the Buccaneers absolutely own this game, and they did. 25 first downs, 360 total yards, 37 minutes of possession in this football game. They scored 2 out of their 3 trips to the red zone versus the Houston Texans scoring none of their red zone trips, and they converted a 4th down. So a well-played game, low scoring, as close as it possibly could be, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers go to Houston and escape with a narrow 20-19 win over the Texans. And our final game of the week saw the Los Angeles Chargers make the trip to Las Vegas and beat the Raiders 20-9. No trips to the end zone and 3 interceptions by Geno Smith. The Chargers were all over the Raiders in this game. Quite costly were those turnovers. We see Quentin Johnston continue to be Justin Herbert's security blanket. And prayers up to Khalil Mack, who did sustain an elbow injury. I believe, yes, it's an elbow injury. He sustained an elbow injury that will keep him out for at least the next 4 weeks as he lands on short-term IR. But the Chargers played very well in this game, and they, after beating the Kansas City Chiefs in the second game of Week 1, remain undefeated by beating the Las Vegas Raiders 20-9. Now, you guys, of note for the Commanders, because we always have to touch on the Commanders in every episode, being Commanders fans, myself and Corey. Jaden Daniels did not practice today, Wednesday. He probably won't practice tomorrow. He will go on Friday, according to head coach Dan Quinn, and they will gauge his progress there. He is nursing a day-to-day knee injury that he sustained in that loss to the Packers on Thursday of last week. And to spell Dietrich Wise, who also landed on season-ending IR, the Washington Commanders went out today and signed former Washington football player Preston Smith, who started his career 11 years ago as a second. Yes, he was a second-round pick. I had to verify myself there. Started his career with the Washington Commanders in 2015, where he played 4 years, and then he spent 5 years in Green Bay, and he's been a journeyman ever since, and he is back in the burgundy and gold to provide veteran relief for the loss of Deatrice Wise. He has a very good opportunity to come in and add to his 72.5 career sacks, especially under former teammate and now coach Ryan Kerrigan, who was a huge part of his development once he entered the league. So excited to see those things. Also of note, Austin Eckler lost for the season for the Washington Commanders. Confirmed he tore his ACL, or not his ACL, I'm so sorry, tore his Achilles. It has ACL in the name, so. But tore his Achilles in that Week 2 loss to the Green Bay Packers. We wish both Deatrice Wise and Austin Eckler a speedy recovery. Those guys, huge losses for the Washington Commanders. We do also see tonight that the D.C. City Council signs off on the Commanders' RFK Stadium bid. So it is, barring a congressional bar over the next 30 days, it is confirmed that the Washington Commanders will return to the site of old RFK in the District of Columbia by 2030. That per managing partner and majority owner Josh Harris. So very fun time for football. But you guys, I will see you guys back here on Saturday. Hopefully we'll have Corey back and we'll get you guys some pick'em. Give me 1 second here and I will throw my prediction for the Thursday night Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins game. I do not see the Dolphins. I wish I could. I wish I could believe in them going to Orchard Park and upsetting the Buffalo Bills, but that Bills defense showed that it is capable of playing at a high level. They are playing well. The offense is rolling. 71 points across the first 2 weeks of the season. I have the Buffalo Bills in this game 31-14 over the Miami Dolphins in a not even close game for Thursday night football to kick off week 3. So there you have it, you guys. I will try to get an update for Corey's prediction on this score, and I will put that on our Twitter as well as our TikTok. I will get that information out to you guys in any way possible. But thank you guys once again for showing up. I'm sorry this was a short one, but we don't have Corey for debate purposes, and we miss you, man. We hope you're having fun out there doing work shit. So until next time, you guys, it is your favorite host of Off the Bench with Corey and Scotty. This is Scotty signing off. We will see you guys next time.